Good morning and welcome to Sky Yoga. This is Stephanie, and today we'll be doing a routine for the shoulders and arms. So we're going to do our usual, starting with breath work and then the usual upper body warm up, but then we're going to add some extra stretches for the arms and shoulders. And for that, you'll need a non-stretchy strap. This is the strap that came with this mat, and it doesn't stretch. Other good options are the belt from a bathrobe, for example, or a karate belt are great non-stretchy, long enough straps. So pause and get yourself a strap if you don't have one. And like I said, we'll be doing extra stretches for the arms and shoulders, and then we'll do some exercises for the arms and shoulders. And if you're just looking for arm and shoulder stretches, then just do that part. Pause before we get to the conditioning part. And then we'll end as usual in Shavasana. So let's get started with some breath work. So a breathing exercise I've been doing recently is about the new year. So first we'll just settle in with our breath and then we'll do that exercise. So relax your body into whatever you're sitting on. I like to sit on a bolster or a block. It helps elevate the hips higher than the knees. It helps open up the hip joints. It helps you sit up straight. So do all those things. Relax your lower body into your support. Lift up your torso, spine erect. Find a comfortable resting place for your hands. That can be on your legs or in your lap. And then with the breath, we're going to inhale the shoulders up and then exhale, roll them back and down. Final adjustment, tilt your head forward, look at the mat, and feel the back of your neck line up with the rest of your spine. And we're just going to spend a few breaths breathing with awareness, just observing your breath. No need to do anything special. Pranayama means intentional breathing, and our intention here is to breathe with awareness. So just take a moment to note, what did you observe? For me, my breath was fast and it slowed down, and it was shallow and it got deeper. And that's kind of typical. So if you find yourself breathing shallowly and quickly during the day, you can just pause and breathe with awareness and slow things down. So next we're moving on to this exercise I told you about. For this one, I like the fingertips to touch the floor. So you might have to come off of whatever you're sitting on in order to do that if you want to. And what we're doing is a visualization. We're going to imagine drawing up through the fingertips from the earth, whatever you're in need of, whatever you are lacking. So you would inhale up through your fingers, your arms, your shoulders, and into your heart, whatever you're looking for. So that might be gratitude, patience, serenity, whatever you need. And then with your exhale, you're going to let everything that you don't want just flow back out the same route through your shoulders, arms, fingertips, into the earth, whatever you want to let go of. And this is a great exercise for the beginning of a new year, because you inhale what you need for your resolutions and you exhale anything you want to let go of, bad habits from the past year or past years. So let's begin inhaling up through the fingertips, the arms, the shoulders, into your heart, whatever you need. And exhaling out the same way, whatever you're ready to let go of. And let's do that for several breaths. Let's do one more long breath cycle. Wonderful. I hope you feel inspired. The word inspire actually literally means breathe in, like respiration, expiration, inspiration. All right. Moving on to energizing breath. So breath of fire, it's also called. Sitting up tall, shoulders back, relax the belly. We're going to inhale fully into the whole torso. So a lot of times people visualize the lungs as being up and in the front. And actually they're in the front and the back, and they go pretty far down and out to the sides as well. Or at least your rib cage does, which moves with your breath. So as you inhale, instead of pulling your shoulders up, leave them down, and try inhaling enough that your torso expands and you feel your elbows go out. As you can see mine doing just a tiny bit there. So no need to exaggerate it. Just feel where the movement might be a little bit differently. So we're going to inhale fully. And then with the exhale, cave in your belly. Feel your ab muscles contract as they push that air out. So we'll just do a few of those. Inhale fully. Exhale, cave in the belly. So you're going to feel your torso move in a wave. On this next one, feel free to join me in sticking out your tongue in the exhale. It's called lion's breath. All right, so that's our pranayama, intentional breathing. We're going to move on now to the upper body warm-up with the straps in a few moments. So let's start with the neck. Drop your chin down to your chest. Let your head hang heavy. Feeling the stretch throughout the neck and shoulders, maybe down into the upper back. You can let your head be still, or you can gently rock it side to side a bit. You'll feel more stretch probably. And when you feel like your neck is limbered up, start to roll your head side to side like a pendulum in a semicircle. So you can inhale when you reach the side, exhale across the center, and inhale on the other side. And exhale across the center. And do a few more of those, limbering up the neck. And when you're ready, turn that into a full circle. So circle one way, and then circle the other way. And if that feels okay, keep doing it. Keep alternating directions. And that way you don't have to count. Make sure you're doing the same number on each side. However, if that full circle hurts at all, if you feel a pinch or cramp, then don't do it. Stick with the half circle. Don't injure your neck. Let's do one more set of whatever you're doing, circles or half circles. And then pause and lift the head back up, sitting tall. We're going to do a very gentle neck stretch. Neck, of course, is attached to the shoulders. So we're going to turn your head to the right so that your chin lines up over your right thigh, and then drop your face downwards so you're looking down at your right thigh. Keep your shoulders down and level as we breathe. This is a really subtle stretch. You might feel a stretch across your left shoulder. You might not feel much of anything. Pardon me. And on an inhale, let's lift the head, come back to center, exhale to the other side, drop the face down. Looking at your thigh, feeling the stretch across the right side of the neck down into the right shoulder. Maybe you're feeling this more on one side than the other, and that's perfectly okay. Try to keep your shoulders down. And on an inhale, lift the head up and back to center. Great. Okay, now we're going to do a little bit deeper neck stretch, neck and shoulder stretch. I'm going to turn around and show you what this one looks like. We're going to grab your left wrist in your right hand. Your wrists can rest on your low back like mine or down on the floor, depending on how long your arms are. So find a comfortable resting position for your hands or wrists. We're going to keep the torso vertical, keep the shoulders down and level, keep the hips on the floor, and just drop your right ear down towards your right shoulder. So the purpose of holding your left wrist is to keep that left shoulder down, creating a little resistance for that stretch across the left side. And then with an inhale, relax, come up, loosen up your shoulders a bit. And we're going to change sides. So now your left hand grabs your right wrist. You find your comfortable resting place. Torso vertical, shoulders level. Drop the left ear down. Creating some resistance by holding the right wrist, keeping the right shoulder down, keeping the hips grounded. Feeling that stretch across the right side of the neck and the right shoulder. And on an inhale, come up and loosen things up again. Nice. Okay, now we're going to do our arm warm up, getting things out of the way. We're going to reach the arms long, keep them as straight as you comfortably can, spread your fingers. We're going to inhale, reach for the sky. I call this sky breath. And then exhale, push the palms down to the earth. We'll do 2 more of those. Wonderful. Okay, now grab your strap. And we're going to start with that strap just about as wide as your knees. If your strap has a buckle on it, you might want to hold that buckle in your palm so that it's not whapping you as you move around. So just maybe a little wider than your knees. We're going to raise the strap up over your head, directly overhead, and side bend. So the lower arm is pulling the upper arm along, keeping the hips grounded. On your next inhale, come up to center. And exhale, side bend the other way. Hips are grounded, arms are as straight as comfortable. Inhale up. Exhale, side. One more time. And exhale. Good. All right, let's set the strap aside for now. Raising the arms back up, interlace the fingers, turn your palms to the ceiling. Lift the rib cage. Look under each shoulder, under each armpit a couple times. Relax your lower body. The thighs tend to tense up here. And then when you're ready, do a twist. So we're bringing one hand to the opposite knee, the other hand behind you, and looking behind you. Relax the thighs downward. Breathe. On your next inhale, come back up to center. And twist, exhaling the other way. Relax the legs. On your next inhale, come back up to center. Now we're going to drop one hand and exhale to the side into a side bend, reaching long with that upper arm. The lower elbow is pointing at your waist. Rotate that upper palm back to front to back. Nice. And then we'll make some big, slow circles with that extended arm. And then we'll change direction. And then the next time that arm is vertical, rise up to meet it, inhale. And exhale, drop to the other side. That lower elbow is pointing at your waist, your hips remain grounded. Reach long with the upper arm, rotate the palm front to back. And then big slow circles. Let's go the other direction. And then we're going to rise up with both arms horizontal and do some seated cats and cows. So for cat, you curl forward, wrap your arms around yourself, grab your shoulders, drop your head, push your belly button back. Feel space opening up between the vertebrae. And then inhale, opening wide into seated cow. Exhale into cat. Inhale into cow. One more exhale. And then sit up. Very nice. We're going to extend the arms out again horizontally, but this time flip the thumbs down so your palms are facing the back. Clasp your hands behind you, interlace your fingers, and we're going to lift the arms as high as you comfortably, safely can. So this is going to roll the shoulders way back, opening up the chest, stretching throughout the arms. Maybe your hands are only here, but maybe each week as you do this, your hands rise up a little closer to horizontal. And release, roll your shoulders out a bit. We'll do tricep stretches next. So bringing the fingertips to the shoulders, circle your elbows. You want your elbows to touch in the middle if possible, and open out wide to the side. Big circular movements. One more this way. And then change direction. Great. Bring your hands down to your knees. We're going to grab the strap again and do something fun called shoulder flossing. So we raise the strap up. Again, it's just about a little wider than my knees. I'm going to raise it up straight overhead. Drop your right hand, and then with your left hand, pull the strap around back behind your head. And we're going to make figure eights. Of course, you're going to bend your arms to do this. It's really hard to do it with straight arms, but you can try. Yeah. Let's do one more figure eight this direction. And then pause at the top. And now we're going to drop the left hand and pull the right hand behind your head. Good. So we're making those figure eights behind the head. Think of it as flossing your teeth, but you're doing it to your shoulders. And then pause at the top again. And now we're going to go front to back. So pretty easy to drop that strap down to knee level and then raise it overhead and maybe back a little bit behind your head. And you can see my hands are sliding out so the strap can be a little wider. And then to the front again. And then up and maybe a little bit further back, maybe behind your shoulders. And then to the front again. And then maybe further back down to the mid back. And up again. So only go as far as feels safe and comfortable to you. I'm gonna go all the way back. The strap is at the waist and then to the front again. Ooh, so my shoulders feel super warm now. I think we can call it quits on the seated, let's just do some shoulder rolls. So they can roll one at a time, or they can roll both together. But roll those shoulders a few more times. And then we're gonna go forward. Most people start backwards, so just go the opposite direction of where you were going. And again, it can be one at a time or both together, but just roll those shoulders, feel it all the way down in your waist. All right, we're gonna come down to hands and knees now and skip straight to the shoulder stretches. We've got two that we do regularly, thread the needle and the newer prone stretch. So for thread the needle, we start in a tabletop position. We're gonna inhale the right arm high, reach for the sky. Exhale, bring the right shoulder down to the mat and rest your head on the mat. If it's not comfortable to put your head on the mat, then prop your head on a small pillow or a block. You definitely want to be relaxed for this position. We're going to bring the hands palm to start, and then slide out that left arm. Reach your left arm as far as you can. See if you can get your left elbow in your right palm. And then pause here. We're collapsing our weight into the right shoulder, using body weight and gravity to stretch that right shoulder. Breathe. You can stay here, or if you want, you may wrap your left arm around behind you, reaching for your right thigh. That's called a bind. And if you're doing that, then you can rock your right hand back and forth on the floor, knuckle to knuckle, giving your upper right arm a little bit of a massage. All right, let's unwind. Place your left hand right in front of your face, press up. Inhale the right arm high again. Exhale, release it down, and we'll switch sides. So now we'll inhale. You don't have to move, but I do if you want to see. So inhale the left arm, reach high. You might feel this down as far as your right hip joint. Exhale, release that left shoulder to the mat. Rest your head on the mat or some other support. Hands begin palm to palm. And then slide that right arm out, reaching long. Right elbow and left palm, perhaps. And pause, collapse your weight into your left shoulder. Body weight and gravity stretching your left shoulder for you. And then you have the option to do the bind, reaching for your left thigh this time. And rocking your left hand if you wish. Relax into that left shoulder. Great. We'll unwind. Place the right hand right in front of the face. Press up. Inhale the left arm high. Ooh, and release all the way down. Good. Okay. This next stretch, we'll start with a warm-up called rolling cobra. So we come into this Sphinx position, cobra position, where your elbows are directly under your shoulders. We're going to press your right hand into the mat, extend your right arm, lift your right hip, and look over your right shoulder and point your right toes. So we're just stretching that whole right side and twisting the back very gently. And then lower down and roll to the other side. Extend the left arm, lift the left hip, look over your left shoulder, point your left toes, and lower down. And just do that again with your breath, lifting the right side, lifting the left side. One more set. Last time. Great. Now we're going to come all the way down
Flattening the chest to the mat with the arms teed out on either side of you. We're going to bring your right hand directly under your right shoulder so that your right forearm is almost vertical. We're going to extend that right arm, and as you do that, lift your right foot and drop it behind you. What you should be feeling is stretch and pressure in your left shoulder, and you're in charge of how much pressure. If you bend your arm more and lower your leg down, less pressure. If you extend your arm more and lift your leg up, ooh, more pressure. So play with that and find the sweet spot for you. We're focusing on stretching the left shoulder, so relax your left arm. Keep breathing. You can stay moving or you can find your sweet spot and be still there, but either way, remember to breathe. And then we'll come back down flat. And turn your head the other way. Now we're going to place your left hand under your left shoulder. You're resting on your right cheek. Extend your left arm, lift your left foot, and drop that left foot behind you. You're feeling stretch in the right shoulder. So again, play with the position of your left arm and your left foot. And that's going to put more or less pressure on your right shoulder. Again, you can keep moving or find a good spot, but either way, keep breathing for sure. And come on back down, and we'll push back into child's pose. So open the knees wide, reach the arms long. Feel that length from hips to fingertips. This is what the front part of down dog feels like. It's just that long swoop, one big line from hips to fingertips through your rib cage. And now let's walk your fingertips over to the right, lining up your torso with your right thigh, reaching long. You can place your left hand on top of your right here for a little more stretch. Relax the hips down. Feel the stretch all through the arms, maybe even down into your left hip joint. And then we'll walk the hands through the center over to the left, lining up your torso with your left thigh. Let the hips sink down. Feel that down in your right hip joint. You can place your right hand on top of your left for a little more extension. And bring those hands back to center. Okay, so that was the stretchy warm-up. And if you're not looking to do any conditioning for the arms because they're in recovery or they hurt, then stop right here. And I hope I see you in another video. I'm going to take a water break and we'll transition into conditioning exercises to strengthen the arms. All right, we will start with low plank. So that is a down on the belly move, prone. The elbows are directly under the shoulders. We're resting on the balls of the feet. Make sure your legs are long and parallel, not too far spread out. We don't want that. Bring them back to about hip width apart. I like to clasp my hands here for a little more solidity or stability, but you can also have parallel forearms if that feels stronger for you. We're going to lift up on the balls of the feet into low plank, keeping the body in a straight line from ankles to shoulders. Breathe. And lower down with control. Breathe, let your abs rest. Then we're going to do just a few saws. I've had some back trouble lately, so I don't want to overdo this. You can do more than I do if you want. So we're going to lift up into low plank again. Flex the feet forward and back. So there's no up and down, just forward and back. And I'm going to do one more, forward and back and lower. Let's come all the way down and rest. Ooh, if your low back hurts, you can swirl your lower legs around. If you're doing that, make sure you go in both directions. It's also a nice little quad massage. And then you can also grab your feet. That's a quad stretch, but also because we're working on shoulders, press your feet into your hands and give your arms a stretch. You can also lift your torso off the ground. But if that's too rough in your low back, then lower back down. All right, now we're going to set up for yoga push-ups, tricep lifts. So bring the hands way back to the low rib cage. Forearms are straight up and down. Kind of grasshoppery is the expression I always use. We're going to lift up to an up dog. Now, if you want to make these harder, lift your knees off the mat. If you need to keep them easier for your back or your arms, then keep your knees on the mat. We're going to fold the elbows straight back and lower down in a chaturanga. And then lift again. So that was one. We're working on two. Up. Down three. Elbows straight back, and stop when you need to. Work up to these gradually if they're new to you. Down four. Up. Down five. Lift. Down six. Up. Down seven. Lift. Down eight. Two more. That's nine. Last one. Good job. All right, let's push back into child's pose again. This time we're going to add a tricep stretch. So reach long and flip your palms up and bring your palms to the back of your neck. If you don't feel a stretch in the triceps, that's the back of the upper arms, then maybe move your elbows around just a bit until you find your sweet spot. And allow your body to really hang into this position. You're supported on your elbows and knees. And so your back can scoop down, swoop down into that suspension bridge shape. All right. Water break, and then we're going to go into our side plank flow. We've added a lot of bells and whistles to this side plank flow, so maybe you only do part of it. You don't have to go the whole way through. We're going to start in tabletop, extending the legs into high plank. Again, hips are in line with ankles and shoulders. Breathe. Now drop the right knee and make sure your right thigh is forward enough that your right thigh is vertical. We're going to lift the left arm, flatten the left foot, and your right foot sweeps behind you a little bit. So you're making a tripod. Left foot, and right hand are your support. And of course, your right knee as well. Find your balance here, and then try lifting your left leg parallel to the floor and reaching toward the side of the room, or create a long line between left hand and left heel. Good. Supported side plank. I'm going to do 3 crunches here. You don't have to do all 3. We're going to bring elbow to knee once. Reach. 2. Last one. Good. And now reach around behind and grab your foot in a bind, pressing that foot into the hand. We're feeling the strength in the right arm as it holds us up. Breathe. Release the foot. We're going to push away from the mat and come up into gate pose. Good. I'm going to sit down on my heels so you can see my face again. Woo, catch your breath. Very nice. So that's our side plank flow. It's got a little bit of everything. Arm strength in the arm that's supporting you. Balance, of course. And also stretching, flexibility as you move the legs and give yourself a quad stretch. And ab strength as you do the crunches. So like I said, a little bit of everything. Let's do the other side. So starting in tabletop, extended the high plank, resting on the balls of the feet, hips in line with ankles and shoulders, They're not up high, it's not a down dog. They're not down low, it's not an up dog. Right in the middle, breathe. Drop the left knee, left thigh is vertical. Pivot, drop the right foot, lift the right arm, let the left foot swing behind you. Find your balance, lift your right leg parallel to the floor, reach your arm long, one big long straight line, 3 crunches. 1, 2, 3, reach and behind for the bind. Press your foot into your hand, stretch your quad and your shoulder. And then release the foot, push away, knees together. Gate pose, you did it, good job. Catch your breath while we stretch forearms and wrists. So palms out, fingertips to your knees, palms flat. Sitting on your heels if you can. If not, then that's a goal. If this is really intense for you, then try circling your body like this. Lifting from the hips and letting the circles come from your shoulders. Sit back and shake it out. That's it. We did stretching and conditioning for the arms and shoulders. And now we get Shavasana, hooray. Actually, let's do just a couple arm stretches first. More traditional arm stretches, and then we'll go into Shavasana. So inhale the arms high. We're gonna drop one hand, pat yourself on the back for getting through this. Grab your elbow and pull back. This is a tricep stretch, back of the upper arms. If you're very flexible, you might be able to reach around with the holding hand from behind and touch your fingertips. I'm not going to aggravate my shoulders by doing that, but if you're more flexible, that might be easy for you. You can also do that by holding a strap in the upper hand and grabbing the strap with your lower hand. I'll turn around and show you what that looks like. So this is one way to improve your shoulder flexibility. Breathe, release, and slowly roll your shoulders out. Give them a little love. So we'll do the other side. Inhale, drop one hand, pat yourself on the back, grab that upper elbow, or reach around behind and touch your fingertips. And I'm not able to grab my fingertips, so I'm going to grab the strap instead in the upper hand and then pull it with the lower hand. The goal being to get the hands closer over time. Breathe. And release, nice and slow, roll those shoulders. Ooh. Good. And then we'll do an upper arm stretch, open the arms out wide, cross one arm across your body, the other one is going to come underneath it and support it. So the bent arm is holding the straight arm in close to your body. Feel that stretch in the upper arm and the biceps and deltoids. The extended arm is just relaxed. Breathe. Keep your neck nice and loose. With your next inhale, open wide. Exhale the other arm across, hook the supporting arm underneath, pull the extended arm close to your body, relax. Sitting up tall, loose neck. And release, roll your shoulders. Roll them the other way. And let's lie down on our backs for Shavasana. So if lying on your back is difficult for you, try bending at the knees. Bring your feet out pretty wide, wider than your hips, and rest your knees against each other. And that takes a lot of weight and pressure off the low back. Otherwise, the traditional Shavasana position is legs extended. And you can always try a bolster under your knees with your legs extended as well to support your back. So a couple options there.
Traditionally, arms are extended to your sides with the palms up. Relax into the mat. Let your head sink into the mat. Let your shoulder blades sink into the mat. And check in with your neck. Maybe rock your head gently side to side. Maybe you tuck your chin in slightly towards your chest. Find a nice relaxed position for your neck. And then let this relaxation flow through your arms, through your shoulders, your upper arms, your elbows, your forearms, your wrists. Let the backs of your hands rest on the floor. Let your fingertips be loosely curled toward your palms. Let your arms relax. On your next exhale, let your rib cage soften. On your next exhale, let your abs soften. Let your spine relax toward the floor. And feel your whole torso relax. Next, let your glutes relax. And let your hip and pelvic area soften. Perhaps your legs roll slightly apart from each other as you do that. Let it happen. Relax your upper legs, your knees, your calves, your feet. Let your whole body be soft. And finally, bring your attention up to your face. One way to kind of joyfully, with fun, relax your whole face is scrunch them together, squeeze your eyes shut, clench your teeth, flare your nostrils, just activate every muscle in your face. And then with an exhale, let it all go. And all you have to do for the next couple minutes is lie here and breathe. Let your breath just wash over you like waves on a beach. a deep breath. And let it all out. Start making small movements at first, wiggling your fingers and toes, rolling your wrists and ankles, maybe rocking your head side to side. And then when you're ready, take any larger move that your body is craving, perhaps a big long overhead stretch, perhaps hugging knees to chest. Perhaps happy baby. When you're ready, roll to one side, resting your head on your arm in the supported fetal position. And take a moment for gratitude. And when you're ready, push yourself up to seated. I'm so grateful to do yoga with you today. Namaste.